You know what's unnatural about flying? Everything. You're in a metal tube, 7 miles above the earth, moving at 500 miles per hour, over an ocean, with nothing below you but dark water for hours, for entire hours. And everyone just sleeps. They close their eyes. They trust. They surrender consciousness while hurtling through the sky over an abyss. They don't think about it. Don't worry about it. They just sleep. But I can't. I've never been able to sleep on planes, especially red-eye flights, especially over oceans. So I stay awake. I watch. I listen. I notice things. Things other people miss. Things they're lucky to miss. My name's Sarah, and 2 nights ago I took Flight 447 from London to Los Angeles. 10-hour overnight flight. Over the Atlantic. Over Greenland. Over Canada. Over the United States. Scheduled departure 11 p.m. Scheduled arrival 2 a.m. local time. Standard route. Standard flight. Nothing unusual. Except I was the only one who stayed awake. The only one who saw what happened. The only one who knows we didn't land where we were supposed to. Or when. Or maybe we never landed at all. I boarded at Heathrow around 10 p.m. Boeing 777. Wide body. 2 aisles. Maybe 300 passengers. Business class up front. Premium economy in the middle. Regular economy in back. I was in seat 32J. Window seat. Back of the plane. Away from the bathrooms. Away from the galley. Quiet section. Perfect for someone who was going to be awake all night. I settled in, stowed my bag, buckled my seatbelt, watched the other passengers board. Normal people, families, business travelers, tourists. Everyone tired. Everyone ready to sleep through the flight. Ready to close their eyes over London and open them over Los Angeles. Ready to trust that the intervening hours would pass safely, uneventfully. Normally, the flight attendants did their safety demonstration. No one paid attention. Everyone was already settling in, putting on sleep masks, inserting earplugs, covering themselves with blankets, preparing for unconsciousness. The cabin lights dimmed. The engines spooled up. We taxied. We took off. Up into the night sky, up over the city, up over the English Channel, up until the lights below disappeared and there was nothing but darkness. Ocean darkness, the kind that's absolute, total, where you can't tell where the water ends and the sky begins, where everything is just black. I looked around the cabin once we reached cruising altitude. Everyone was already asleep. Every single person I could see. Heads tilted back. Mouths open, eyes closed. The couple next to me. The family across the aisle. The businessman in the row ahead. All of them. Unconscious. Completely. Like they'd been drugged. Like someone had hit a switch and turned them all off simultaneously. I'd never seen anything like it. Usually there are a few people awake on red eyes. Reading. Watching movies. Working on laptops. But not this flight. Not tonight. Just me. Just my eyes open in a cabin full of sleeping bodies. The flight attendants came through with drinks. I flagged one down, asked for water. She smiled. But the smile was wrong. Too wide. Too fixed. Like she was performing the emotion rather than feeling it. "Everyone's sleeping so peacefully tonight," she said. Her voice was strange. Flat. Monotone. "Yes," I said. "Is that normal? For everyone to fall asleep so quickly?" She kept smiling. "Oh yes. Night flights are always like this. People are so tired, so ready to rest, so ready to let go." She handed me the water. Her fingers were cold. Too cold. Like she'd been holding ice. "You should try to sleep too," she said. "We have a long flight ahead. Such a long flight. You'll want to rest. You'll want to close your eyes. You'll want to join them." She gestured to the other passengers, to the rows of sleeping bodies, to the stillness, the silence, The surrender. "I can't sleep on planes," I said. "Never have been able to." Her smile didn't change, didn't falter. "That's unfortunate," she said. "This flight, it's better if you sleep. Much better, much easier, much safer." Safer? What did that mean? Why would sleeping be safer? She moved on before I could ask. Continued down the aisle, checking on the other passengers, adjusting blankets, straightening pillows, caring for the unconscious. I watched her disappear into the forward galley, watched the curtain close behind her. And then, she didn't come back out. None of them did. The flight attendants, they went into the galley, into the front of the plane, and they didn't return. For hours. For the entire flight. Like their job was done. Like there was nothing more to attend to. Like the plane was flying itself. Like the passengers were cargo now. Inventory. Things to be transported rather than people to be served. I tried to distract myself. Pulled out my phone, turned on airplane mode, opened a book, read a few pages. But I couldn't focus, couldn't concentrate. Something felt wrong. Off. The silence was too complete. The stillness, too perfect. I looked around again, really looked, at the other passengers, and I noticed they weren't moving. At all. Not even the small movements sleepers make. The shifting, the adjusting, the breathing. They were frozen. Perfectly still, like statues, like mannequins, like they weren't sleeping, they were paused. I stood up, walked down the aisle, checking, looking. The man in 28F, not breathing, or breathing so slowly I couldn't detect it. The woman in 25B, same thing, perfectly still, face slack, eyes closed, existing but not quite alive, not quite present. I reached out, touched the shoulder of the man in 30D. "Excuse me," I said. "Sir?" No response, no reaction. His skin was cold, through his shirt, through the blanket. Cold like the flight attendant's fingers. Like he'd been in a freezer. Like his body temperature had dropped impossibly low. I jerked my hand back. This wasn't right. This wasn't sleep. This was something else. Something wrong. Something unnatural. I went to the galley, pulled back the curtain. Empty. Completely empty. No flight attendants. No crew. Just empty space. Equipment. Carts. But no people. Where had they gone? I checked the bathrooms. All vacant. All available. I walked to the front of the plane. Business class. First class. Same thing. Everyone asleep. Everyone still. Everyone cold. And no crew. Anywhere. Just me. Just one conscious person in a plane full of frozen passengers flying over an ocean in the middle of the night. I tried the cockpit door. Locked. Obviously. I knocked. "Hello? Is anyone there? The cabin crew is missing. I need to speak to the pilot." No response. No acknowledgement. Just the sound of the engines. The hum of the aircraft. The wind outside. But no human sounds. No voices. No movement. Nothing. I went back to my seat. Sat down. Tried to calm down. Think rationally. Maybe the crew was on a break. Maybe they were resting. Maybe this was normal for overnight flights. Skeleton crew. Minimal service. Let everyone sleep. But the passengers weren't normal. Weren't right. I pulled out the safety card. Found the in-flight magazine. Checked the flight information. Flight 447. London to Los Angeles. Departure 11 p.m. Arrival 2 a.m. 10-hour flight. I looked at my watch. 3:17 a.m. I'd been awake I tried to calculate. We'd taken off around 11:30, so almost 4 hours. We should be maybe halfway. Maybe over the Atlantic. Maybe approaching Greenland. I looked out the window. Pressed my face against the glass. Looked down. And saw nothing. Just black. But not ocean black. Not water black. Just void. Absence. Like there was nothing below us. like we weren't flying over Earth anymore, like we'd left that behind. I checked the moving map on the screen in front of me. The entertainment system, the flight tracker. It showed our route, our position. We were, according to the map, still over London, right over Heathrow, right where we'd taken off 4 hours ago. But that was impossible. We'd been flying. I'd felt the takeoff, felt the climb, felt the leveling off. We were in the air, moving, definitely moving. But the map said we hadn't gone anywhere. Or we'd been flying in a circle, flying in place, existing without progressing. I refreshed the screen. Same position. I waited 5 minutes, checked again. Same position. We weren't moving, at least according to the system. We were suspended, hovering, floating over London, over the departure city, never leaving, never arriving, never existing between. I stood up again, walked to the back of the plane, to the rear galley, to the windows, looked out, and saw lights below us. City lights, lots of them, sprawling, dense. We were over a city, still over a city. After hours of flying, we were still over London? Or a different city. I pressed my face against the window, trying to see details, trying to identify landmarks. But the lights were wrong, the patterns wrong, the formations wrong. This wasn't London, wasn't any city I recognized. The streets formed impossible geometries. The buildings were wrong shapes, wrong sizes, wrong dimensions. Like I was looking at a city designed by something that had heard of cities but never seen one. That understood the concept, but not the reality. That was mimicking human civilization without comprehending it. That's when I saw the other plane, flying parallel to us, maybe 100 feet away, out my window. Same model, same livery, same airline, like a mirror, like we were being escorted, or watched, or copied. I stared at it, at the other aircraft, flying impossibly close, moving at exactly our speed, maintaining perfect formation. And in the windows, I saw passengers, sleeping passengers, rows of them, all still, all frozen, just like ours. And in one window near the back, I saw someone awake, looking out, looking at me. A woman. She saw me too. Our eyes met. Across the gap. Across the impossible distance that was too close and too far simultaneously. She looked terrified. She pressed her hand against her window. I pressed mine against mine. And then, her plane tilted, banked away, descended, disappeared into the darkness, into the void, into whatever was below us. Gone, like it had never been there, like I'd imagined it, like I'd hallucinated, but I hadn't. I know I hadn't. She was real. She was awake. She was trapped just like me. And now she was gone. Fallen into whatever this was. Whatever we were flying through. I ran back to my seat, grabbed my phone, tried to, document, record, something. But my phone was acting strange. The time kept changing. 3:17 a.m., 11:43 p.m., 7:02 a.m., 2:31 p.m., 9:54 p.m., cycling through, random, meaningless. The date changed too, backwards and forwards. Yesterday, tomorrow, last week, next year, 2024, 2003, 2019, 2032. Like time had broken, like we'd left the timeline, like we were existing in all moments simultaneously. Or none. I tried to take a photo of the cabin, of the sleeping passengers, of the window, of the void outside. But every photo came out wrong, blurred, distorted, showing things that weren't there when I looked, showing faces that weren't faces, showing seats that were empty when I knew people were sitting there, showing windows that looked into somewhere else, something else, somewhere we shouldn't be able to see. One of the passengers moved. Finally, someone else woke up. The man across the aisle, seat 32F. His eyes opened. He looked around, confused, disoriented. He saw me. "Are we there?" he asked. His voice was rough, thick, like he'd been asleep for days, for years. "No," I said. I don't know where we are." He looked at his watch, frowned. "We should be landing soon. What time is it?" I showed him my phone, the cycling times, the shifting dates, the broken display. He stared. That's not right." He pulled out his phone. Same thing. Time changing, date shifting, reality breaking. "What's happening?" he asked. "I don't know," I said. "But everyone else is asleep. The crew is gone. We're not on course. We're not where we should be. Look out the window. Tell me what you see." He looked, pressed his face against the glass, stared down at the lights, at the impossible city, at the void beyond. His face went pale. That's not LA. That's not anywhere. What is that?" I shook my head. "I don't know, but I think we're not flying to Los Angeles anymore. I think we're somewhere else, some other route, some other destination, some other..." I didn't finish. Didn't know how to finish. Because what was the alternative? That we'd left Earth? That we'd crossed into something else? That this flight, this 10-hour overnight red-eye, was actually going somewhere no flight should go? Somewhere that required everyone to be asleep? Everyone except the ones who couldn't? The ones who stayed awake? The ones who watched? The ones who saw? The man started to panic, started yelling. "Wake up, everyone wake up, something's wrong. We need to wake the pilot, we need to land." He went down the aisle, shaking people, pulling at their shoulders, shouting. But no one woke, no one moved, no one responded. They stayed frozen, paused, suspended. He ran to the cockpit, pounded on the door. "Open up, open this door. We need help, we need to land, please." Nothing, no response. Just the locked door, the sealed barrier, the separation between passengers and crew, between cargo and operators, between the ones who sleep and the ones who fly. He collapsed against the door, crying, terrified, broken. "We're never landing," he said. "Are we? This flight, it doesn't end. It just goes. Forever. Flying over nothing, over nowhere, over places that shouldn't exist. And everyone else, they're lucky. They're asleep. They don't have to see, they don't have to know, but us. He looked at me, eyes wide, hopeless. "We're awake. We're aware. We're cursed." The cabin lights changed, got brighter, harsh, clinical. The seatbelt sign came on. A chime sounded, and a voice came over the PA. Not the pilot, not a flight attendant. Something else. "Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. We're beginning our descent into our final destination. We ask that you please return to your seats and fasten your seatbelts. We'll be landing shortly. Thank you for flying with us. Thank you for sleeping through the journey. Thank you for trusting. Thank you for not watching. Thank you for not knowing. Those of you who stayed awake, those of you who saw, we apologize. This destination, it wasn't meant for conscious arrivals. But don't worry. You'll sleep soon. You'll close your eyes. You'll join the others. You'll forget. You'll reset. You'll wake up in Los Angeles. You'll walk off the plane. You'll collect your bags. You'll go home. And you'll never remember. Never know. Never understand where you really went. Where we all went. Where every overnight ocean flight goes when the passengers sleep and the night is long and the void is patient. I felt it then. The pull. The exhaustion. Crashing over me. Overwhelming. Irresistible. My eyes got heavy. My thoughts got slow. My body got warm. Comfortable. Ready. I fought it. Tried to stay awake. Tried to keep watching. Tried to see where we were landing. What our final destination really was. But I couldn't. The sleep was too strong, too complete. Too necessary. My eyes closed. Against my will. Despite my fear. despite everything. And I fell into darkness, fell into unconsciousness, fell into the same state as everyone else. The same suspension, the same pause, the same surrender. I woke up at LAX Gate 52. The plane was parked. People were standing, collecting their bags, filing off. Normal, routine, like nothing had happened, like it had been a standard flight. The man from 32F was gone, already left, already forgotten. I grabbed my bag, walked off, through the jetway, into the terminal. It looked normal, felt normal, was normal. The time was 2:47 a.m. We'd arrived late, slightly, but not impossibly, not wrong, just 47 minutes behind schedule. Technical delays, air traffic, normal airline stuff. My phone worked. The time was correct. The date was right. Everything was fine. Everything was normal. Everything was as it should be. But I remember the void, the lights, the impossible city, the other plane, the woman in the window, the man panicking, the voice on the PA. I remember being awake, being aware, being cursed with consciousness. And I remember falling asleep, against my will, being forced to join, being forced to forget, being forced to believe this was normal. This was fine. This was just a flight. But it wasn't. It isn't. I know what that flight was, where it went, what it crossed. And I know there are other flights, other overnight ocean crossings, other red-eyes where everyone sleeps, where the crew disappears, where time breaks, where space folds, where planes fly through places that shouldn't exist, taking passengers to destinations they'll never remember, showing them things they'll never consciously know. And if you stay awake, if you watch, if you see, they'll make you forget anyway. They'll make you sleep. They'll make you land. They'll make you walk off and believe it was normal. But it's not. It never is. And somewhere in my memories, in my bones, in my dreams, I know. I know we never flew to Los Angeles. I know we went somewhere else. And I know part of me is still there, still awake, still watching, still trapped on that flight, flying over the void, forever. If you're captivated by more disturbing stories from people who've experienced travel that took them places beyond normal geography, make sure to subscribe to Campfire Nightmares. And here's what keeps me awake now. Have you ever been on an overnight flight and felt like something was wrong? Like you'd lost time? Like the other passengers were too still, too quiet, too deeply asleep? Or woken up somewhere and felt like you shouldn't be there, couldn't have gotten there, like the journey didn't make sense? Share your experiences in the comments, because I think Flight 447 isn't unique. I think there are routes, night routes, ocean routes, routes that go through places we're not supposed to see, and the only way to survive them, the only way to arrive, is to sleep, to close your eyes, to trust, to surrender. Because if you stay awake, if you watch, if you know, they'll have to make you forget. And maybe that forgetting, maybe it doesn't always work completely. Maybe pieces remain. Maybe some of us remember. Maybe some of us know that when we fly at night, over oceans, over voids, we're not just traveling between cities. We're traveling between realities. And the price of that travel is unconsciousness, is surrender, is sleep. And those who refuse, those who can't, they pay a different price. They see, they know, they remember, and they're never quite sure if they ever really came back.